This video will focus on detection techniques for the giant panda. We will go over problems with current research, other techniques that could be used, and our recommended technique.
The problem that we currently face with these animals is that they are known to be very elusive. The heart of panda habitat is in Sichuan, China, as well as the surroundings in Shaanxi and Jiangsu. These areas have an elevation of up to 10,000 feet and are quite remote. They are very dense and hard to traverse, with many uphills. And with pandas traveling up to 10 kilometers a day, it makes finding them even more difficult. As you can see in the images, that doesn't look very fun to walk around in. Because of this, collecting any sort of data on pandas is quite difficult. Finding where they are located and where they reside is not an easy task. We looked at some possible techniques that might help with this issue.
For the next 3 slides, I will be talking about possible techniques and their pros and cons. First technique is wildlife signs. This method involves using wildlife signs, for example tracks, to indicate the presence of animals. Trackers or biologists go out into the field and look for these signs of animal presence and identify species and other factors. Wildlife signs that may contain DNA or other important information, for example scat, can be removed from the field and brought to a lab for further testing. Some pros include that an experienced tracker can gain more insights from tracks than just the species, for example, sex. The use of wildlife signs is non-invasive, it is fairly cheap, it does not disturb the animals, and you can detect the presence of elusive species. Some cons include that not many people are experienced in animal tracks and signs, human error is a factor, it can only be done while in the field, and track variability can make identification challenging. The second technique is camera traps. This method uses cameras to film or capture images of wild animals. They are placed in different locations and may be equipped with infrared sensors or motion detectors. Once the camera has been set out for the desired time, it is picked up by the researchers to look over the footage. Some pros include that the use of cameras is non-invasive, no researchers are needed in the field, you can estimate abundance with more precision, it does not disturb the animals, and more data can be collected on a large variety of animals. Some cons include that camera traps only collect data on behavior and presence, they can be damaged by weather, for example rain, the battery life may not last long, and using a camera gives a limited view of the area. The third technique is detection dogs. These dogs use their senses in order to detect certain things. A detection dog is familiarized with the scent that the researchers are interested in and are then put out into a specific area to locate that scent. Some pros include that dogs can locate scent faster and more accurately, and using dogs allows for less field time. Some cons include that dogs are unable to identify whether or not they have already visited a target, and bringing dogs in could be a disturbance.
When looking at the pros and cons of each technique, we decided that camera trapping would be the best one to use to collect panda data. Due to the panda's hard-to-traverse habitats, cameras make the most adequate technique to use. Although the battery life may not last as long or that the camera may have a limited view, it still beats having to have someone walk around and collect data in this rough terrain. Besides, there are many different gadgets that you can change on a camera in order to adjust it for the best outcomes to this habitat. Due to the panda's evasive behaviors, collecting data with the camera would be more successful than having them get scared away easily by a human on foot. As technology continues to advance, facial and pattern recognition continue to enhance as well. With the unpredictable weather and harsh environment, camera trapping beats using dogs or looking for tracks. In terms of cost and precision, camera trapping would have the best results when trying to collect panda data as a non-invasive technique.
I would like to take this time and acknowledge all the great literature used to inform this project.
Thank you all so much for coming and listening to our detection techniques for giant panda project. We hope that you really enjoyed it. If you have absolutely any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down below and we will answer them. Thank you.